Welcome back to Spoiler Free Wrestling, everyone. And we are talking about some comments made by Jim Ross on the most recent edition of the Jim Ross Report podcast. So, Jim Ross released a new episode of his podcast this morning and made some cryptic remarks about a possible All In 2. So, this would be a follow up to Cody and the Young Bucks' successful All In pay per view event on September 1st of this year. So Ross made the following comments, and these were transcribed by Ethan Renner of SEScoops.com. Ross said, "I've heard it through the grapevine that All In 2 will happen, perhaps as early as May 2019. He continues, "All on the rumor mill. I can't imagine, as successful as it seems that All In was there in Chicago, why you wouldn't want to have another one." Now, Jim Ross has been involved in the recent reports about a potential new promotion named All Elite Wrestling. Although people have said publicly that Jim Ross's involvement with All Elite Wrestling or the proposed new promotion is overblown. They say he's not as involved in it as some reports have suggested. It should be noted that Ross is under contract with WWE until the spring, and of course, he wouldn't be able to have any involvement with the organization until after that. However, Ross continued on his podcast to say he doesn't think that an all-in event should be organized more than once a year. So Ross continued to say, "I think that one a year is plenty. You don't want to wear out the theme." Now, we know from trademarks that have been filed for an LLC named All Elite Wrestling, registered to the same address as the Jacksonville Jaguars, we know that names such as All Out and Double or Nothing have been trademarked by All Elite Wrestling. Whether those will turn into pay-per-views or not, we're not quite sure. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But then JR continues to talk about one thing he feels will be a challenge for Cody and the Young Bucks and the Elite if they're to move forward with a promotion named All Elite Wrestling. And he mentions that Cody and the Young Bucks were in charge of booking All In. But booking one event versus booking an entire promotion is something that could be problematic for All Elite Wrestling. So Ross continues to say, the challenging part of this is for the booker types like Cody and the Young Bucks who like to be creative and like to book. Now, JR is mentioned on his podcast in another cryptic statement, which some have speculated was a comment about a potential new promotion. He said that Chris Jericho would certainly make a good booker for somebody. Now, those comments, combined with Chris Jericho also having his name linked with these reports about All Elite Wrestling, have some suggesting that Chris Jericho is someone the new promotion could turn to as a booker. However, if this is Cody and the Young Bucks' big project, are they going to hand over the booking reins to somebody else? So Ross mentioned that he feels Cody will want to take a large role in booking a promotion or a possible All In 2, as Ross feels that Cody thinks this is part of the legacy that's been passed down to him from his father. So Ross says, I think Cody feels that's his life work because his dad was so good at it. He wants to honor his father by being known as a great booker as well. And hey, why not? Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to be the booker. Somebody's got to create the content. So I think JR is pointing out a real obstacle which could face All Elite Wrestling if and when it is to move forward. If this is going to be a promotion owned in part by Cody and the Young Bucks, or at least run in part by Cody and the Young Bucks, if they are selling over their trademarks to the Khan family. I mean, it's not clear what exactly is going to be the structure of this organization if it's going to move forward. if Cody and the Young Bucks are putting their own money into this, if the Khan family is going to be risking the money on their behalf. So many questions we don't have answers to, but I think it is a real challenge. If you had Cody and the Young Bucks booking All In, it only I mean, that brings up the idea, would they then want to be booking All Elite Wrestling? And what are the challenges that would then face them if they are both booking All Elite Wrestling and performing on All Elite Wrestling? And so who knows? Who knows? Again, we have way more questions than answers as it concerns All Elite Wrestling, but I thought Jim Ross made some really interesting, vague, and cryptic comments about an All In 2 possibly happening as early as May 2019, and about the possible challenges which could face Cody and the Young Bucks if they choose to be the bookers of this new promotion like they were for All In. But whatever takes place with All Elite Wrestling, we'll keep you up to date here at Spoiler Free Wrestling. Just make sure you hit the subscribe button to make sure you're not missing out on any news or reports. Thanks once again, everybody. I'm the Eye Guy from Spoiler Free Wrestling.